Hey, what's going on? It's your boy BT, and I came here to talk some boxing with the thousands of True School Sports subscribers. Now, where's my brethren all around the world watching this video? Where's my brethren in England? Where's my brethren all across the states? Gonna talk heavyweight boxing. Shout out to speaking of heavyweight boxing, shout out to my main man, because I probably see this. Shout out to my main man, Mr. Boxing Today. Go check his channel out for the best in heavyweight boxing. Wanted to share this piece of news with you guys because I just came across it on Boxing Scene. So supposedly earlier today, and when I say today, October the 3rd, 2018, as I'm sure the video, or the wee hours, October the 4th, so more like yesterday. Recently, Eddie Hearn made a stop. So Eddie Hearn was in Ukraine earlier, recently, at this year's WBC convention, and this was to make a case for his fighters, at their mandatory contender meeting. So today, as many of you guys may know, if you were paying attention to the boxing news today, you heard about the different mandatory fights that was ordered today by the WBC. One of the things that was discussed there was from Eddie Hearn. He spoke on behalf of Dillian Whyte, who is rated very highly in the WBC rankings. He's just behind Dominic Breazeale, because Breazeale is the mandatory challenger. So Hearn is trying to finesse. He was trying to finesse Whyte to become the mandatory challenger. That's obviously not going to happen. So he's going to sit behind Breazeale, and have to Whyte will have to wait his turn. Now, this is interesting coming on the heels of the Whyte Fury fight, because you got to understand, boxing is a game, and I've said this many times, boxing is a game of power brokers and politics and chess, okay? So, like, the Fury Wilder fight was made, and if it goes well, there could be a rematch. And if there is a rematch, that could freeze out and stall Dillian Whyte from eventually challenging Wilder, which could, further hinder Matchroom Boxing and Eddie Hearn's stable from gaining more of a foothold in the division. Because you got to think of it like this: Anthony Joshua has all the titles but one, and it's viewed as the most prestigious belt in boxing, which is the WBC green belt. And if Whyte was to fight Wilder right now and somehow win at this moment in time, then that would mean Matchroom Boxing literally has the heavyweight division in a Cobra clutch. Like all the titles are held by a Matchroom Boxing fighter, and that's where the promoters come in, and they don't want that to happen. They don't want one or two fighters from the same promotion company to have all the titles. So that's another reason. This is my personal opinion. That's another reason why I think the Wilder Fury fight was made, because if it goes well enough and they get enough return on their investment, they might do a second fight and it'll stall Dillian Whyte out. Because Dillian Whyte, let's call a spade here, man. I was very critical of Dillian Whyte. I thought Joseph Parker was going to beat Dillian Whyte. I picked Joseph Parker to beat Dillian Whyte. I thought that was going to be the fight where Joseph Parker returns to form. I've been saying leading up to that fight that I thought, Dillian Whyte, I didn't really see many improvements in him that the performance he was having, albeit you could definitely see that he looked better. I didn't think that he looked better because of him getting better. I thought he looked better because it was the perfect style in front of him. And he proved me wrong on the night. He proved me so wrong. And for like the majority of that fight, he dominated. I don't want to say dominated, but he controlled the majority of that fight against Joseph Parker. He hurt Joseph Parker. He put him on his ass, which is very hard to do because Joseph Parker has one of the most durable chins in all boxing. And he got a win against Joseph Parker. And that was the night to me where I said to myself, damn, this Dillian Whyte, he is more than just another media creation by the British boxing public. He's not just some guy that Eddie Hearn is propping up to be some opponent against AJ. He is legitimate heavyweight top-level contender. And he is a live dog against anybody in the division, AJ and Wilder included. And you gotta say against AJ, because he fought AJ for the British title and he hurt AJ. He hurt AJ in that fight. Got stopped, but he hurt him in that fight. He was game against AJ. He's picked up some wins against the likes of Lucas Brown, who's has a very basic style. Will beat Lucas Brown, who's the name of the division. Fought Joseph Parker, who was a former world champion, one of the top fighters in the division, beat him and knocked him down, beat him up worse than AJ did, in my opinion. I think he inflicted more pain on Parker than AJ did, because AJ kind of boxed a more conservative fight, and he used more of his boxing skills to get to that fight. But Whyte, he has those skills too, but he was beating this dude up on the inside, and I was very impressed from what I was seeing from Dillian Whyte and the improvements he's made. So Eddie Hearn's trying to get this dude a title shot at Wilder because this has been an ongoing saga. He made before Wilder Fury was made, he made the $4 million offer, which was then a career high payday for him. I don't know what he's to make this fight, but it might still very well be a career high payday. And Eddie Hearn also met with K2 Promotions and some TV networks there and asked whether he thought Wilder and Fury might try to keep the belt between themselves because that's what he's trying to get some insight onto that. And they said yes, of course. So that's gonna happen. They're gonna try to break up the titles so that AJ can't get all the belts, and then he has to fight one of those guys eventually, or so that Whyte can't get a shot at the title, so Matchroom can't get a chance to have all the titles in the division and have an in-house undisputed fight. That's not gonna happen. So that's the politics of boxing in a nutshell, as I try to break it down to you guys. Here's what he said in regards to the whole situation. This is Eddie Hearn's quotes in regards to this whole situation. He said, I quote, "Probably, I think Dillian needs to challenge Anthony Joshua. We put our case into the WBC, but ultimately Brazil is going to be the mandatory. But when is he going to be the mandatory? If there's a rematch of Wilder Fury, they'd allow that as well. I think if Wilder wins, there'll be no rematch. But if Fury wins, there will be a rematch. We made a new offer, and this is the interesting part. We made a new offer and an improved offer for the 13th of April, which this time was a percentage offer, but we'll see. We asked for a meeting at the beginning of October because my dad, Barry Hearn, was in New York to meet Shelly Finkel, and he said no. So it's so frustrating because some people in the public say you're ducking Wilder or calling them saying, can he have a meeting? And Shelly will come back saying, well, you don't want the fight. Why am I asking you to meet in New York? I'm not doing it for a laugh. He said make an offer and we can have a meeting. So now I've done that. Now hopefully we can have a meeting. And then he went on, last but not least, he went on by saying, and this is in regards to the fight with Wilder and Fury. He said, I thought it was painful. I thought the press conference was painful to watch in New York yesterday. There wasn't anyone there, and they were also backstage laughing and joking, and they come out and they do all this. But regardless of the build-up, it's a really good fight to find out who the second best heavyweight in the world is. So there you have it, Eddie Hearn. I find that interesting because I covered the Eddie Hearn, Shelly Finkel, Wilder, Joshua situation very hardcore in April and May. You guys can go look those videos up. I made my stances pretty known in those videos. We don't need to rehash all that here, but I find it interesting because so he made Wilder a flat fee offer for $15 million, which I think is still a great offer. Like that was an offer that he should have taken because he's not going to get $15 million against Tyson Fury. And if he does, and if somehow he is, then kudos to him. But I don't see it. There's no way he's going to generate $15 million fighting Tyson Fury on pay-per-view in America. No way, no how. So $15 million flat fee is a good offer. But now Eddie's said he's making an improved offer. He's included a percentage split. He didn't specify what it was. So we'll see, man. One thing I will say that's consistent. So I want to point out the inconsistencies and the consistencies of what I see in this statement. The inconsistency is him offering a percentage. He didn't do that before, so that's a bit of a red flag for me. It might show a bit of desperation. You can interpret desperation in a good way or bad way. Desperation can be interpreted in many ways. Interpret it how you want to interpret it. It should be taken, in my opinion, and you could take it with some form of seriousness or legitimacy because he has a date in place. A lot of times in boxing, I have problems when they say, oh, we're going to make an offer, this and that, and there's no dates or venues in place. Eddie Hearn has had a date and venue in place for Anthony Joshua's fight for April the 13th at Wembley Stadium for a couple months now. That's been signed, sealed, and delivered months ago. So he's got that already squared away. It's just a matter of finding the right numbers to get this guy to sign a contract. It's that simple. So you have that. The consistency here is that Shelly Finkel still wants no meeting. So Shelly Finkel didn't want a meeting when he offered him a $15 million flat fee, and he asked for a draft contract, and Shelly refused to send him a draft contract. And now he's offered him a percentage, and I'm assuming, and even though he didn't specify here, but I'm assuming Eddie Hearn is still asking for a draft contract if they want to meet. And Shelly said, no, you just don't want the fight, and he wants me to New York. So there's some things there that are still very consistent. So, interpret that as you must. But Eddie Hearn trying to get Dillian Whyte to fight with Dillian Whyte to fight with Deontay Wilder. It's not happening. And from the looks of it, they're gonna stall this guy the hell out. I mean, he is sitting behind Brazil, who is mandatory. Depending on how Wilder Fury goes, Brazil's gonna have to wait his turn, and then once he's done waiting his turn, by the time we even get to Whyte getting a chance at Wilder, he's either gonna be beaten the hell up more. He'll either be irrelevant because he lost a couple fights or a fight that he shouldn't have lost, or so something will happen, and this is a stalling tactic that happens many times in boxing when promoters don't want two fighters from the same promotional company to get all the titles. So we'll see what happens, but just giving you guys my thoughts and breaking down the situation going on at the WBC convention. So yeah, Eddie Hearn trying to get Dillian Whyte title shot Deontay Wilder. It's not looking like that. He's saying that from sources he got, that Wilder and Fury are going to try to keep the WBC title among themselves. So let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Take the time to subscribe. And like I say in every gosh darn video, you can love me or you can hate me, but I'm just a kid from Dingus. So until next time, take care, guys.